You guys, I think that I just found a fairy tale about a psychedelic plant that's native to Europe, and I did not know that this fairy tale or this plant even existed. Are you as excited as I am?
Caution, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not promote, condone, or encourage the use of illegal substances. The information shared is purely historical, cultural, and scientific discussion. Any opinions expressed are hypothetical and represent my own theories, not facts or professional advice. Always follow local laws and consult a medical professional for health-related decisions. Viewer discretion is advised. I've been studying European folklore for a while now with the hopes of finding a fairy tale that both literally and metaphorically points directly at psychedelics. And when I came across this one, linked on the Wikipedia page of an entheogenic plant, my skin erupted with electricity. The story references a plant that could possibly be the most abundant and most frequently used psychoactive species of all time. A flowering vining plant called bindweed. There's nothing like the feeling of striking gold in the middle of a good old wiki rabbit hole. Let's get weird. The fairy tale I found, titled Our Lady's Little Glass, was published in Germany around 1819 by the infamous Brothers Grimm. When I looked up the story, my heart was pounding out of my chest. This is definitely the fairy tale my soul was searching for. It's very short, so I'm going to read it to you. Once upon a time, a wagoner's cart, which was heavily laden with wine, had stuck so fast that in spite of all that he could do, he could not get it to move again. Then it chanced that Our Lady just happened to come by that way, and when she perceived the poor man's distress, she said to him, "I am tired and thirsty. Give me a glass of wine, and I will set thy cart free for thee." "Willingly," answered the wagoner, "but I have no glass in which I can give thee the wine." Then Our Lady plucked a little white flower with red stripes called field bindweed, which looks very like a glass, and gave it to the wagoner. He filled it with wine, and then Our Lady drank it, and in the self-same instant the cart was set free, and the wagoner could drive onwards. The little flower is still always called Our Lady's Little Glass. Did you get chills? Let me explain. Field bindweed, or Convolvulus arvensis, is found all over the world and is native to Europe and Asia. The flowers are often pink, white, or a striped combination of the two, like mentioned in this fairy tale. The plant today is mostly considered a noxious weed and is notoriously difficult to eradicate from gardens and landscaping. One of its more notable characteristics is its vining, climbing nature and its ability to choke out other plants. Some of its nicknames include devil's guts, fairy trumpets, white witch's hat, thunderflowers, snake plant, and possession vine. The nickname possession vine likely comes from the fact that the seeds of the bindweed plant are psychoactive. Ooh, psychoactive. Both bindweed and Hawaiian baby woodrose belong to the morning glory family. This family includes a wide variety of flowering plants, often recognized for their spiraling, trumpet-shaped flowers and twining growth patterns. The seeds of these plants have a high concentration of a symbiotic fungus called claviceps. The fungus contains a compound called lysergic acid, or LSA, which is very similar to the more well-known compound LSD. The whole seed contains many other compounds that can cause extreme stomach upset, including vomiting and diarrhea, which I'm assuming is where the nickname devil's guts comes from. Ugh. But when the seeds are ground up, soaked in water and strained, the LSA is extracted into the water and the harmful toxic compounds are left behind with the seed pulp. Another unique aspect that makes this fairy tale stand out is the inclusion of the beloved and iconic Christian figure Mother Mary. There are only 2 Grimm fairy tales that feature Mother Mary as a main character, and that's really unique because fairy tales are pre-Christian. But by the 1800s, many Christian symbols had already fused with the ancient pagan oral traditions of Europe. Now, I personally don't believe that this fairy tale refers to the actions of a real historical person because fairy tales, like dreams, speak in symbols and metaphors. I think this story focuses on an archetypal mother, the divine spark of consciousness in all matter, and I think that Our Lady is the personification of that divine feminine archetype embodying nurturing, compassionate, and guiding qualities. In an older version of the story, she might have been referred to simply as Great Mother. Let's circle back to LSA for a moment. I promise you we're spiraling somewhere. Psychedelics are a touchy subject in our society, and I am in no way recommending or condoning them. I am, however, a little curious about their potential therapeutic value. I dug up a few studies that were conducted using LSD in a therapeutic setting, since there have been very few studies done using LSA. A 2014 MAPS study in Switzerland found that higher doses of LSD in therapy significantly reduced anxiety, especially for patients facing end-of-life issues. Those on full doses reported lasting anxiety relief and described transformative, cathartic experiences that shifted their focus to meaningful life aspects. Similarly, a 2012 NCBI study showed LSD's potential in reducing alcohol dependence. Participants experienced prolonged sobriety and fewer cravings attributed to emotional insights gained during LSD therapy. These findings suggest LSD's promise in treating anxiety, depression, and addiction. Given LSD's structural similarity to LSA, bindweed seeds might also hold immense therapeutic potential. If you want to check out the full studies, I put the links in the description. So let's look again at what the story might mean, knowing what we know now about Mother Mary as the archetypal feminine and the potential therapeutic value of bindweed. The man pours wine into a bindweed flower and Mother Mary drinks it. This looks like it might be a fairly overt metaphor for making and consuming an extraction from the bindweed flower. She doesn't just pop a flower into her mouth and chew it up. He pours the wine, adding a liquid, and then she drinks that liquid. And if the man with the stuck cart symbolizes the ego and its mental rigidity and emotional stuckness in life, and Mother Mary represents the divine feminine soul, then when the soul consumes a psychedelic substance, the attitudes, mindsets, and traumas keeping the ego stuck are dissolved, and the cart moves freely again. Like the studies mentioned above, the psychic activation from the mystical experience removes the resistance of the ego, and repressed traumatic memories can be remembered, relived in the moment, and let go, leading to meaningful and lasting insights. Many believe that this process is much faster and more effective at deepening self-understanding than traditional therapy alone. I think that this fairy tale is showing us that our ancestors would use psychedelic potions as medicine, and when they felt stuck in life, they would use these medicines to help them heal. And where many other myths and fairy tales are vague and intentionally obscured, this fairy tale is special because it outright names a known psychedelic species. The Convolvulaceae family is known all around the world as a healing psychedelic plant. Morning glory-esque flowers show up in a lot of Renaissance artwork. In South America, morning glories are used by their medicine men to heal people, and the seeds of the plant are called seeds of the Virgin Mary. In India, Hawaiian baby woodrose are a top contender for the main ingredient of their ancient religious drink soma, and vining ivy plants are connected to the Kaikion and the Eleusinian mysteries. I've also been finding similarities between Dionysus and his vining ivy and the Morning Glory family. Even the Fool card from the Rider-Waite tarot deck has Morning Glory flowers and vines on his jacket. But many of these things are topics for future videos. People weren't allowed to share the ingredients or knowledge of sacred religious potions. They would get killed, put in jail. Most people got killed. So over time, their ingredients and uses have been hidden, like this one, perfectly and innocently concealed inside a story for children. Let's just say that I think that there are many more psychedelic symbols to be discovered and investigated further. Subscribe to my channel to come along for the journey. Stay weird, my friends.